The weather's cooling down, temperatures are dropping, and fall is almost here. Some leaves are turning, and I am ready after a long and fun summer. I'm ready to be inside. I love the idea of coming inside, cozying up, making some bread, maybe getting into some cozy hobbies like knitting, watching family movies together, and really embracing this season. One of the ways that I like to prepare for the fall time is to do a fall declutter and a closet switch. Now that the temperatures are dropping, we need some different clothes, and we share a closet, so we have some things stored away that I need to get out today and move around. We also now have a baby who is growing out of his 0 to 3 months clothes and into the next sizes, so I will be switching over his closet today too. It is so crazy to me how quickly our baby grew out of the smaller clothes and is already on to the next sizes. And with all of the laundry that I do a load of laundry every day. I think we might have just too many clothes for him at this point. So we might be sending some of his sweet clothes to the thrift store or giving them to some friends. We'll see how many clothes he has in this next size. Before our baby came, I did a giant declutter. Our house is 1,000 square feet, so I wasn't expecting to take away very many items to the thrift store when I did that declutter. I was shocked to find out how many items we had lying around our house. And I kind of went room by room and evaluated, okay, when was the last time we used this item? Is it productive for us? Is it just taking up space? Can we use it more than once a year? I filled boxes and boxes with things that I had collected over the years that I didn't even realize was taking up space and therefore contributing to this might be just me, but my low level stress around the house. So when I was able to take those things to the thrift store, it really simplified my life in the home. And that was such a good feeling. So we'll see how much we end up thrifting today. But the purpose of today's declutter is more so a seasonal shift. So I'll be simplifying the home to get it ready for all of the time I'll be spending in the kitchen, all of the time I'll be spending inside, that we'll be spending inside. And this is something that I love to do. It gets me excited about the next season. And I'll do this again around Christmas time when we're decorating for that season. And then afterwards, we'll take the tree down and the welcome mat and the little things that we've collected to make the house feel Christmassy. But today it's about fall, getting ready for fall, and introducing those warm, cozy clothes and other items. So in between my seasonal declutters, I have a system that has really helped us over the past year or so. And that is I always have a bag or a box that we can put unwanted items into. And when that bag or box is filled, I will then take it to the thrift store. So for example, I have one pack of diapers that was given to us that he's outgrown, and they're not the kind of diapers that we ended up using anyway. So instead of letting that pack of diapers sit in our room or take up space contributing to my stress, I just put it in this bag. And that for me really helps with managing stress. When I see something in the house that doesn't feel like it has a purpose or belongs, I can tend to get pretty easily overwhelmed if there's multiple items. And so this is a way that I can bring order to my space. And again, when it's full, I just put it in the car, and the next time I'm at the thrift store, I can just drop it off. So today I'll be going through our closet, making sure everything that's there is something that I have worn in the past, at least I would say 6 months. Now, I was just pregnant, and so there's definitely grace there. My body has changed so much and is continuing to change. So I'm not going to get rid of something just because it doesn't fit me right now, and maybe it'll fit me later. But if it's something that I generally don't think that it's my style anymore or don't really like wearing, then at this point, it served its purpose, and I don't have any regrets putting it in this thrift bag. With our baby's clothes, he is moving up in sizes, but we are not thrifting most of his clothes. We are saving most of his clothes for the future. So we'll just put that in our guest room dresser and keep his current items in our shared dresser. We share this dresser between the three of us, me, my husband, and our son. So it's the perfect way to keep us accountable to only keeping what we really need in there and what we really wear, because there's simply not room for anything extra. We put our extras in our guest room closet, and so I'll come in here. This is where our winter hats and scarves and gloves are, or our bathing suits when it's not summertime, things like that. I've also hung up some things that I don't wear very often, but I felt like I needed to keep. So I'm going to go through this and see what I need to keep, what I need to switch to the other closet, and what needs to be stored away for future use. For me, this process helps me feel like I can bring order to this space, especially season by season. Like it never gets out of control because I always have a system in place to manage it. That's not to say that the house doesn't get cluttered or messy, because of course it does. But now I have this ongoing process and system in place to help me feel like my space has a baseline of peace. And one thing that I didn't really expect about having a baby, who you might be able to hear as I'm doing this voiceover, he's sitting with me, is that it is really easy to accumulate a lot of stuff very quickly when it comes to his things, especially because he's growing so fast that there are things and items that he will use for a month or two, and then he'll grow out of. For example, his clothes. He's 2 months and he's already been through 2 sizes. And so I'm very tentative to buy clothes. We actually haven't had to buy any of his clothes, but even little toys or the newborn stuff that is really helpful in that season, but so quickly they're out of it. It's interesting to now be out of that season, and I just wonder what I would do differently now that I know that that's only a few weeks, at least it was for us. I think another element that contributes to me feeling peace at home is the laundry system that we have, and I tend to do laundry at least every other day, if not every day. The idea of having, and I know that it's unavoidable at times, but having so much laundry to do and mountains of laundry to fold, as opposed to doing a little bit every day, feels much harder. And that also means that I don't have to own as many clothing items, because the things I do like wearing, I've worn, I've washed, and now they're ready to be worn again. I think another relevant point in this conversation is that I have tried to become very careful as to what I buy and bring into my home, because it's not only spending money, but it's spending energy and investment on, okay, this item that's coming into our home, I'm going to have to look after it. I'm going to have to clean it. I'm going to have to spend my energy preserving it in some way, and just weighing out, is this really worth it for me? And a lot of the times the answer, more than I thought it would be, is no. Sometimes I get really excited about the possibility of buying something, but I have tried my best to wait at least a week before buying something, because sometimes that limitation sparks my creativity and I fix the issue that I thought this item would fix with something that I already had. For example, I have this coffee menu above my coffee bar, and I was going to print it out and design it on Canva and get a frame for it. I realized that as I was about to throw away the sack that my flour came in, it was like a brown paper bag, but a really big one. And I realized that I could just use a Sharpie on that and write up my coffee menu that way. So it turned out differently than what I originally anticipated it looking like. But honestly, I really like the way that it looks. I think it conveys this homey, not perfect style that just fits and is very in line with our lifestyle. So I guess if you're feeling stressed in your space or in your home, this might be your sign to seasonally declutter. Take this as an opportunity as the weather gets cozier and life slows down a little to address what you actually use in your home. And you might be surprised at how much you can get rid of and simplify in order to not have as much to worry about at the end of the day.